What is up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. Today I want to do a almost full face of YSL beauty. I have enough in my collection to really talk about some of the products in the range. And I think it's just fun to kind of do an overview on the brand also for myself. Sometimes you see that if you use products of one brand, you kind of see the look they're going for. And YSL has impressed me so far with the products. So let's get started. I'm not a foundation wearer. YSL, I believe, has a foundation, the All Hours foundation, which is reviewed really well. And I also believe that they do have a skin tint. It comes in the tube, but I was not, the reviews of it didn't capture me enough for me to get it. So I'm going to use something of my own, a product that I love. I would consider this a holy grail. This is the Chanel Le Beige Water Tint. I got mine in shade medium. If YSL could make a tinted primer or a product that is sheer coverage like the Chanel, would be all up in it. But right now I've been loving the way that my skin looks, and I don't want to do a lot of coverage unless it's for the under eye. So I'm going to go in with a YSL concealer. This is the All Hours concealer. It is actually the same packaging as the new blush, except the blush has a kind of like frosted matted side, whereas this is a clear side for the concealer. What's also interesting about the All Hours Precise Concealer is it has a very unique doe foot where it is literally square. And what's nice about it is it's really nice applicating style. What's also really important about this packaging, which is the same for the blush, is the applicator is a sponge, but the packaging is tight enough so the sponge actually gets squeezed out, so you'll never have a ton of product coming out. I really like this concealer. I think it's part of my 2023. Oh my god, I messed up the years, but I think it's part of my 2023 favorites. I also really like the YSL Touche Éclat High Coverage or High Cover Concealer, but I hear that one is being discontinued. I still see it on the website. I think the High Cover one has a little bit more hydration. This one is a little bit more mattifying, very thin and easy to use. I would consider this mature friendly, like for mature skin, because this doesn't really sit in my fine lines. This does give a light to medium coverage. Going in with a Refer B05 brush and just lightly tap it around. In case you were wondering about the shades, I'll put all of the products I use down below with the shade names, so you can always use the description box if I forget to say the shade name. Then let's go into the blush, Peachy Nude number 37. And like I said, similar applicator style as the concealer, also a sponge tip and the square doe foot. This is so smart and really easy to apply. This is not a first impression. I am going to do the mascara as a first impression for today. I hear really great things about the mascara, but this is not a first impression item. I did compare this to a Rare Beauty blush, the soft pinch blushes from Rare Beauty. This one is a bit more matte and has a quicker dry down. So I'm going to stop talking and just apply the color. This is the blush applied. This is only one layer. I did 3 dots on the side, and there is enough color pigment, but it's still very subtle. There's no shine in this blush. So if you don't like that shininess or kind of dewiness that some of the soft pinch blushes give, this is quite flattering. One issue with this is it does dry down a little faster. And I also feel like it, depending on the application style. So now I'm using the BK Beauty 109 brush. It's my favorite one. I used another brush in the past, and it would take off some of my, base makeup. So it's not the easiest blush, but it does give a really nice finish. It's time to go in with powders. And unfortunately, I wanted to have the YSL powder, and I guess maybe the craving wasn't high enough for me to get it either. So I'm gonna see if like the itch keeps on itching, and if I need to scratch the itch, I'll buy. For now, I'm gonna go in with my favorite Charlotte Tilbury powder. The bronzer comes in this classic YSL packaging that almost looks like one of the YSL purses in brown. So the second lightest shade, and I love this. There is a neutrality to this bronzer that totally works for me, and I can bronzer with it, and it doesn't look odd. It's very soft. It's not too strong. It's very demure. Okay, but all jokes aside, it is very soft. I think that the customer that they make these products for like kind of sheer makeup, very sophisticated, very, just soft and like understated. All right, going to another beautiful YSL packaging. This is an eyeshadow palette. It's one of my favorite eyeshadow palettes of all time. This is in the shade Store Dolls 100. This beautiful thing is well loved and for good reason. It's a nice neutral brown palette. It's one of those eyeshadow formulas that it's really hard to mess up. Previously, I had been eyeing to get Over Brun, which is like a brown toned version of this one and a little bit warmer. I decided not to get it because I wear very little eyeshadows lately, especially palettes. If I'm gonna go for eyeshadow, it's gonna be often a single shadow. Every single time I pick this one up, I am back in love again. I really like this eyeshadow palette. It's one of the only ones that I still wear. And I guess what I really like about it is it's quite easy to use. It gives me a beautiful eye every single time. And it's not too overpowering. It's quite understated. I also really like the shimmer in here. There's something about it that is just very soft and faint. Now, the only thing that I've never tried before is the YSL mascara. I've heard great things about this one. So it's not a new product. I felt like it's okay to do a first impression on this one. I got a mini and I'm hoping, ooh, that is a mascara brush. Okay, I'm interested. I'm very interested to see how this one works. I'm not gonna do anything with my lashes. I'm not gonna curl them. I just wanna see how this naturally, works with my lashes. Something about this, it really naturally spreads my lashes. Look at the difference. It's really hard to see always with me. I always do it like this. Look how lengthy, but still natural they look compared to my other side. Okay, so far, very beautiful. I really enjoy this mascara. I love how it spreads my lashes, but still gives me a lot of length. I don't think it's the most curling, but you know what? It's still a first impression. I still have to see how this wears, how easy it is to take off. But first impression wise, really like it. Now let's move on to the final part, which is lips. I finally have tried one of the Candy Glaze lipsticks. And I really like this one. I featured this on my channel before. I got the most popular color, I want to assume, which is the 02. It's the clear one. And it's a repel packaging, but you can repel it back down again. So I think that is a win. Now this is a product that's almost like a lip gloss in a stick form. It does have some body to it, so you do feel it on the lips, but I just love the finish and the hydration of this. I have nothing like it, so it's not a true balm, it's not a true gloss. It is a perfect in-between. Now what I like is that it's hydrating and it covers all of my lip lines. Like I said, it does have some body to it, so you do feel it on the lips, but that is totally fine with me if it does everything that I want it to do. The packaging is also really nice. It's definitely giving me luxury beauty. Overall, I think it looks really beautiful altogether. You definitely see that there is a specific customer that they're going for. They're giving you a very wash of color, beautiful, natural vibes. At least that's how I see it, but there's still some variations. So let's go through all the products that I tried from YSL. The concealer. I do like the high coverage concealer a little bit more. But that doesn't mean that I don't like this one. I think this is a good concealer. In terms of creasing, it's doing a really great job, not creasing too much. It's a very thin formula, and I really like the application style. Easy to open. I love the sponge applicator. You can really get into the crevices. If you let it stay on for a little bit longer, this has a setting down aspect to it. It goes to a more matte finish. I really enjoy this one. I think the only con that I might have with this one is that it's not a high coverage type of deal at all. Is I think trying to reach to a medium coverage. I would consider this a light medium coverage. Then let's talk blush. This is the newest product in their line. I was really excited to try this one. I actually do really like liquid blushes. I'm someone that has combination to oily skin, so normal oily skin, and blushes tend to I kind of eat away at my face throughout the day, and liquid blushes often tend to stay on the longest. When it comes to this blush, it has a really good wear time. I also really love the color range that they came out with, and this color is perfect for me. This is a color that I gravitate towards. I have this color in my collection, but it doesn't matter if I have it in a different formula because this is the blush color that I like to wear. It is a little bit warm, a little bit peachy. It doesn't emphasize, the redness in my face. I also like the finish. If you want a blush, a liquid blush that has a matte finish, not a dewy finish, not a skin-like finish, but just a straight up matte, this is actually a really good formula. The one con I have with this one is I used it with, I believe it was this brush. This is the Refer B04 brush. It's actually a foundation brush, but I have been using this for so many things, and it was picking up my foundation at the time. It could be the combination of the foundation and this blush, but I do have to mention everything, right? Like, I feel if I have anything to say, just an honest review, you have to mention the good and the bad. Applicator wise, I love the applicator. Dry it down. It has a solid dry down. You can still just apply your blush, blend out your blush, but it does have a dry down. It's faster than the Rare Beauty one. If I could recommend anything from this line, I think the bronzer would be my first pick. This is the thing that I wear on a weekly basis, and I go in hard. You still see the logo, you still see the embossing. I love the packaging. I wish it was refillable. Unfortunately, it isn't. It's a little chunky in terms of, like, if you have a large bronzer collection. This one is a little chunky, but I love this. This 02 color, just perfect for me and my skin tone. You can build it up. I haven't built it up too much, but you can see it on my forehead. It gives a very natural finish. And yeah, color-wise, perfect. Packaging-wise, beautiful. It does feel like luxury. And finish-wise, love it as well. Wear time, love it as well. So there you have it. Another product that I love is the eyeshadow palette. This is in the shade 100 Star Adults. I'm gonna link it down below. This is one of my favorite eyeshadow palettes of all time. I just love the neutrality of the eyeshadow palette. I love this one shimmer shade that gives enough impact, but it's not too like glittery or anything. So it gives a very certain look. I can always get a good look out of this one. Colors are wearable. You can wear them for every single day. You can use this one as a liner, at least on my skin tone. So there's nothing else that I can say about this except for long wearing, mature. I would say mature lid friendly. I have very hooded eyelids and there's no creasing or anything happening when I use this formula. I just think it's a good composition where you have that one light shade that you can put in the inner corners, but you also have a darker shade that you can use as a liner, and a really beautiful crease shade that has kind of neutral tones to it so you can contour your eyes, and of course the shimmer that I love also as a one and done. So perfect palette composition and giving that luxury feel, giving you that YSL handbag feel. I remember when this palette came out, I was so excited for the packaging, but I'm more excited for the formula now. Then let's talk about the mascara. So far, I'm really enjoying this mascara. It is not clumping. It's like, it spreads out my lashes. It looks natural, but it still gives me a lot of length. It didn't give me a lot of volume, so it's not the most voluminous. I might take this on a holiday, depending on how it removes. I might take this one on a holiday because if this is a tubing mascara, it might be one of my favorite mascaras of this year. The YSL Candy Glaze, one of my favorite products of all time to try. I know it's a little expensive. I did get mine on a sale. It took a long time for it to arrive in the Netherlands, but this is like a gloss, but then in a stick form, and you can still like repel it up and repel it down, unlike some of the other repel system lipsticks that I have in my collection. I also love the packaging on this and the finish. It's just really beautiful. So overall, YSL doesn't have any duds for me. I actually really like all of their products, and I like the way that they jive together to make this very, I guess just everyday wearable look. I also like that for the palettes and the blushes, They are a little bit more creative, and you can go to the creative side. There are more colors available. I think now they've also launched a bit more of the candy glaze lipstick, so you can get a really nice color range as well. And I'm very interested to see what the brand will come out with next. I might be getting the powder this year, but like I said, if the itch stops itching, then I won't scratch it. I want to be a bit more mindful with my spendings this year, but I hope you did like this video. I'll link everything down below. If you like YSL and you want to see more reviews, please subscribe to this channel. If you liked hanging out with me, but you have some questions, you know, use the comment section down below. I'm a very small channel, so I'm still able to reply everyone. I currently have holiday and I'll be going to Spain pretty soon. So in case I don't see you anymore, you know, have a great holiday, and I'll see you after my holiday. Thank you guys all so much for watching, and I'll see you guys the next time. Bye.